Um, yes. Okay. Is there a lagging in my voice? 244? Is there a lagging in voice?
No, sir.
Lag
It's
denega
okay.
voice.
No,
Right.
sir.
Right. Thank you so much. Right. Okay. Then we'll start the session, right? So, as I mentioned earlier, the session is about consumer behavior, right? So, before moving to the definitions and the factors which can influence on consumer behavior, first we'll clarify who is a consumer. I need your cooperation on this one. I hope you will cope up with me, right? So, who is a consumer? Anyone in here? There are marketing people as well. I mean, it is immaterial whether it is marketing or not, right? So you can tell your own interpretation. Who is a consumer? Anyone? Right. The first thing is please be free. I'm not calling at you if you happen to give wrong answers, right? So therefore, we will go this as a kind of in the discussion mode, right? So I hope you will answer to my questions, right? Um, yes, who is a consumer according to your understanding? Anyone?
Person who use good and services.
Yes, person who use goods and services. Right, thank you. Right. So with that answer, we'll develop the definition of consumer like this, right? Consumer, yes, as you very correctly mentioned, consumer is the person who consumes the product. Simply, who consumes the product. So the reason why I stressing this part, consume the product. The reason is there are two concepts when it comes to this. When we are talking about consumer behavior, there are two concepts that comes into practice. One is customer. The next one is consumer. So some people they say that these are synonyms. These are similar words, but in real, these are two different terms. Consumer is the person who actually consuming the product, but customer is the person who buys the product. That means he should not be the person to consume the product, right? ඒ කියන්නේ එයා product එක consume කරන්න ඕන නෑ. If that person happens to purchase the product, then on that instance we call that person as the customer. හැබැයි එයා ඒක consume කරොත් එයා consumer කෙනෙක් බවට පත් වෙනවා. Right? These are the two basic terms that you need to uh, have in your mind when we are going through this session, right? Because these two words are very critical. When I'm giving some definitions as well, I will use these two terms. So please remember these two terms: consumer and the customer. Right. So as one of your members mentioned, right, it is about the consumption of product and services, right? So in here, right, we are not just focusing on the purchasing part when it's come to consumer, or when we are observing the consumer, right, we are not just focusing on the purchasing part. There are some predeterminations. Right. Before coming to that part, I want you to uh, mention that these are the things that we are going to discuss today, right? These are the components. Uh, through this whole session, we are going to cover these things. Not into the deep, right? We are not diving into the deep. The reason is, so honestly speaking, the consumer behavior is a different course module. Actually, it is a different. A separate discipline. There are a lot of things that we can talk on this consumer behavior. So therefore, in here, right, I have included, almost all the things when it's come to consumer behavior, but these are very huge, components when it's come to the consumer behavior course module. If you happen to learn this consumer behavior as a course module, then you will, learn into deep in this, on these components, right? But anyway, I will try my best to give a sound understanding introduction of consumer behavior, right? So in here, I mean, at the inception, I have not included the definition of consumer behavior. The reason is I want you to clarify who is a consumer and who is a customer, and what are the types of consumers that we can see. Then after we'll clarify who is a consumer. So when it's come to this field of, understanding consumer, right? There's another thing I want to mention. I want to emphasize. So in this whole module, right, we are going to learn about who is a consumer and what are the factors that can influence on this consumer behavior. That means simply when it's come, what are the factors that can influence on this decision making process of a consumer, right? ඒ කියන්නේ ඔයාලත් ඔයාලගේ life එකේ හරි products purchase කරලා තියෙනවනේ simply. Right? It can be a smartphone, it can be a laptop, it can be a book even, right? පෑනක් වෙන්න පුළුවන්, පොතක් වෙන්න පුළුවන්. You have purchased some items and plus you have consumed those items as well. එතකොට මේ consume කරන්න කලින්, purchase කරන්න කලින් you had some predeterminations, right? Predeterminations means you had some pre-preparations. So what is the product that I'm going to, ඒකට කලින්, so before deciding on a product එකක් තීරණය කරන්න කලින් you have identified a need එකක් අඳුරගන්න ඇති. Now I need a book, I need to have a book because I need to write some notes. And on that instance you have identified your need. You have an unsatisfied need. Then in order to satisfy that need, right, you are having an information search. Information ටිකක් search කරනවා. මේ මට මේ note එක ලියා ගන්න what is the ideal product which I can have. Whether I'm going to go with the exercise book, CR book, or even a diary, notebook, right? There are a lot of options, no? So මෙන්න මේ options වලින් තමයි අන්තිමේට you can go with buying a exercise book. තනි rule වල තියෙන පොතක් ගන්නවා කියලා decide කරන්න පුළුවන්. ඒතර තේරෙනවද? ඒ final decision එක එන්නේ it is not coming in an instant. එක පාරට වෙන්නේ නැහැ. Right? You have some pre-preparations, right? You had some evaluations on the products as well. If you happen to buy a smartphone or laptop, you definitely you might have gone through different steps. යාළුවන්ගෙන් අහනවා, internet එකෙන් search කරනවා, then you are having the brands in your mind. ඊට පස්සේ brands එක එක evaluate කරලා බලනවා. Then you are thinking on your the cost as well, how much money you have, right? By considering all these factors, you are coming to a final conclusion, I'm going to buy this one, right? අන්නේ series එකට එන්න there are different factors which will influence. So අපි අද කතා කරනවා what are the factors that can influence on this decision making. So after this session, after wrapping up this session, please go through the session again, right? Like even the PowerPoint slides again, right? Then you will understand about yourself. So how I'm taking decisions when it comes to the consumption. ඔයාලට understanding එකක් ගන්න පුළුවන්. අපි මොනවද කරන්නේ? Products purchase කරනකොට එක consume කරන්නේ කොහොමද? මේවට බලපාන factors මොනවද කියලා ඔයාලට තේරෙයි තමන් ගැනම, right? So when it comes to this consumer, we can see two types of consumers: personal consumers and organizational consumers, right? Personal consumers means these individuals are buying products, right, for their own use. They can products purchase කරන්නේ for their own consumption. So you all are coming into this category, personal consumers, right? අපේ පාවිච්චියට තමයි අපි products purchase කරන්නේ. සහ මේ අපේ consumption තමයි product purchase කරන්නේ. Then when it comes to the organizational consumer means they are not buying the products for the consumption, but they are buying the products for the purpose of business operation. Business එක කරගෙන යන්න තමයි they are buying the product. As an example, when it comes to a hotel, right? So say for an example, when it comes to a kitchen of a hotel, right? They need lot of items. They need knives, they need spoons and all, right? Even plates. මේ වගේ දේවල් ඕනේ. එතකොට as an individual customer, if you happen to buy a plate, if you happen to buy a plate for your ඔයාට බත් කන්න ඔයා plate එකක් ගන්නවා නම් හිතන්නකෝ for your home use, right? Household use එකට ගන්නවා නම් then you are that is coming under personal. I mean, like then we can define you as a personal consumer. But when it comes to a hotel, if they happen to purchase plates ගන්න මොකටද? එයාලගේ functions වලට දෙන්න. Then on that instance, it is coming under organizational consumer. Why? Because they have purchased those items to, I mean, for the purpose of continuing their business operations. Business operations කරන්න යාලා products purchase කරනවා නම් ඒක අපි organizational consumer කෙනෙක් කියලා කියනවා. I hope you are clear with these two concepts, right? Am I correct? Are you clear with these two concepts? Personal consumer and organizational consumer. If you want, I can clarify more, right? So what is your comment? Guys, what is your comment? Yes. Are you clear up now?
Yes, sir.
Right, thank you. Okay, let's move to the definition of consumer behavior, right? So this is the definition of consumer behavior. So in here, right? So when it comes to examination as well, so please keep these things in your mind, right? So in here, I have highlighted 4 terms actually. I mean, please ignore this one, right? Do not ignore this one. I mean, ඒ කියන්නේ මම මෙතනදී ignore කරන්න කියලා කියන්නේ එහෙම් පිටින් අමතක කරන්න නෙවෙයි. But for now, right? Please look on these, 4 terms. මේ 4 terms ටික තමයි we are going to, I mean, like when we are talking about consumer behavior ගැන කතා කරනකොට මෙන්න මේ actions 4 ගැන තමයි අපි කතා කරන්නේ. Evaluating. So as marketeers, so I mean, there's another thing that you need to keep in your mind when you're in this session, right? The thing is, so please look at each and every component that we are discussing today from the perspective of marketing. අපි මාකටිං කරන්නේ කියලා ඉන්න perspective එකෙන් හිතලා මේ හැමදේම බලන්න. ඔයාලා consumers ලා විදියට consumers විදියට බැලුවට කමක් නැහැ. As an example මම කියන්නම් ඇයි එහෙම කියන්නේ කියලා, right? So when it comes to evaluating, acquiring, using, disposing. So we are, I mean, as marketeers, we are looking at these components. Why? So why we are learning, why we should focus on these components when it comes to consumer behavior? The reason is when it comes to there's another thing I want to clarify, right? So I hope you have a kind of a sound understanding about marketing. But anyway, I will give a small definition. When it comes to marketing, so we are focusing much on consumer. The reason is why? What the reason? You have learned this now. So why you are focusing much on consumer? I mean, there are some other stake parties as well we should consider, but the priority goes to the consumer. Why? Anyone? When it comes to marketing? Because when it comes to marketing, we are identifying the needs or the requirements of whom consumers. Why? The reason is I අපි එහෙම consumers ලගේ requirements ගැන හිතන්නේ. At the end of the day, we should produce products, right? I mean, it can be good or service, right? But on the other, I mean, at the end of the day, the target audience, they should buy our products. අපි product එකක් හරි service requirement එකකට හැදුවට පස්සේ ඒ product එක දවස් අවසානයේ විකිනෙන්න ඕනේ. Unless we won't be able to continue our business. business එක හරියට ඒ කියන්නේ මොකද්ද? If we want to continue our business successfully, then people should buy our product. If people should buy our product, then we should produce our products to their requirement. I mean, to the exact requirement. එයාලගේ exact requirement එකට අපි products හදන්න ඕනේ. Unless they won't buy. Why? Because it is not matching with their requirement. So requirement එකටම හදන්න ඕනේ හින්දා, right? We need to have a understanding about the consumer or the target audience. කාටද අපි මේක විකුණන්නේ? එයාලා ගැන අපි හොඳ understanding එකක් තියෙන්න ඕනේ. So that is the main reason why we are understanding the consumer. I mean, we are talking about this consumer behavior. ඒක තමයි අපිට තියෙන වැදගත්කම මේ consumer behavior ගැන කතා කරන්න තියෙන මේ marketing වල මේ marketing discipline එකට ආවා. හරි? ඒක මම කිව්ව ඔයාලට සමහරට recap කරගන්න, right? ඔයාලා ඉගෙන ගත්ත දවස් recap කරගන්න තමයි ඒක කිව්වේ. right? So as I mentioned earlier, so when it's come to consumer behavior, we are mainly focusing on these four components: evaluating, acquiring, using, or disposing. When making how people, I mean, how consumers engage with these activities. So basically, we are observing and we are collecting data on these four things. People are evaluating before buying. I mean, what are the category? Is they are balance. Oh, is it about the status? There are some restaurants, I mean restaurants, and there are some, outlets where you prefer to go because of, I mean, like if you happen to go to that particular, store, you will have a kind of a status. I mean, again, මේ තැනට යනවා කියන්නේ මෙයා ටිකක් status එකක් තියෙන කෙනෙක්, ටිකක් සල්ලිකාරී. සමහර මිනිස්සුන් ඒ තැනට යනවා because of the status, because of the social, I mean, social recognition which gives by the, particular place. So, අන්න බලන්න acquiring වලදී, you can now purchase කරන්න යනකොට what are the factors that you look for? And when it comes to the using, I mean, consumption, so what are the things that you look for? සමහර කට්ටිය බලනවා when it comes to a product, it should be easy to use. පාවිච්චි කරන්න ලේසි වෙන්න. සමහර කට්ටිය හිතනවා when it comes to, if you have experience the unboxing of an Apple, product, Apple product එක unboxing experience එක අරගෙන තියෙනවා නම්, right? How many steps that you need to, go through in order to use the product? I mean, so we cannot see that particular, experience now, because now when it's come to the current scenario, we cannot see that optional, products when it's come to technical product. I mean, when it's come to the, I mean, if we talk about 5 years, I mean 5 years before, when it's come to smartphone, if we unbox a smartphone, then we can see chargers, hand frees, even OTG cables, right? There are a lot of things that we can see, even back covers as well. But when it's come to the current scenario, we cannot see such. So therefore, the consumption experience, I mean, the consumption experience has been, I mean, it is somewhat different now. Hari, කලින් product එකක් unbox, again, smartphone එක unbox කරන විදිය දැන් unbox කරන experience එකයි වෙනස්. හරි. එතකොට මේ experience මේ දේවල් වෙනස් කරලා තියෙන මේ optional products, they have I mean, from the brand, they have removed these optional products by observing the consumer behavior, because they have observed that yes, I'm talking this part from the brand's perspective, right? So they observe that yes, we are giving, hand frees, we are giving back covers, we are giving, chargers, but when customers customers happen to buy a product, then what they will do is they will remove the hand free and they will buy a new hand free, I mean branded hand free. They have observed this. I mean, instead of the charger that we give, right? They are going for, fast charge or something different. I mean, wireless charger. Oh, it can be a wireless charger. So they have observed these things. So what they have done is, right? They have, eliminated these, I mean, optional products from the smartphone. So instead of that, they have reduced the price for a certain extent. Price එක යම් කිසි ප්‍රමාණයකට අඩු කරා මේ කොටස් ටික අයින් කරනවා. Now, consumers have the full freedom to buy what they want. I mean, they can buy they can buy the charger that they want. They can buy the hands free or the, AirPod or whatever the, uh, hands free that they want, right? ඕන දෙයක් යාලට දැන් ඒ කියන්නේ optional products විදියට ඕන දෙයක් තමන්ට කැමති දෙයක් purchase කරන්න පුළුවන්. So all these things happened, right? Because of the understanding on the consumer. මේ හැමදේම මේ innovations හැමදේම වෙන්නේ, right? මේ consumer understand කිරීමෙන්, right? Right. When it comes to this blue part, right? Decision process. Yes. So this is about decision making process. So at the latter part of the session, we will discuss what is the decision making process, and it is not a, rocket science thing. I hope you already know about this decision making process, right? Anyway, we'll discuss about that part as well. And so if you have not got kind of an understanding about consumer behavior, I have developed a video for you. This is a AI generated video, So please look into this video, and I hope you can get a better understanding about this consumer behavior, right? So we'll watch this video.
Picture this, you're at the store and you're deciding between chips or chocolate. What's going on in your brain? Consumer behavior is all about the choices we make. When you're evaluating a product, like deciding between chips or chocolate, you're looking at factors like taste, price, and even packaging. Next, you move to acquiring. This is when you finally pick that snack off the shelf and head to the checkout. Your brain is weighing the pros and cons, like how much you want it and if it's worth the money. So using is the fun part. This is when you actually enjoy your snack. But consumer behavior doesn't stop there. Disposing is the final step. It's what you do with the packaging. Do you recycle it, throw it away, or maybe even reuse it? So next time you're shopping, remember, it's not just a simple choice. It's a whole process called consumer behavior. Cool, right? Picture this, you're
Right. I hope you watched the video. Am I correct? I hope you watched the video. Yes, students. Did you see the video? Yes, 372. Did you watch the video?
Yes, sir.
Right. Okay. So have you got something out from that video? I mean, about the consumer behavior. Okay. Anyway, right. So for the next questions which I'm going to ask, right? So please cope up with me because I cannot hang on for so much of time waiting for your answers. The reason is I'm having a limited time for this session. So therefore, I want to complete this session. Plus, I want you to learn something as well. So please be cooperate with the session. Right. So the next part is about the development of the marketing concept and the discipline of consumer behavior. So how this marketing discipline and consumer behavior, how these two are tangled, right? I mean, tangled means කොහොමද මේ දෙක link වෙන්නේ? So I mean, we had a at the inception of the session we had a discussion on this one. So what is marketing and how this is linking with the consumer behavior and what is the importance of consumer behavior when it comes to marketing. So we discussed those parts. So I'm not going to repeat the same again, right? So in here, when we are discussing about this, scenario, there are, three key components that we should think of. I mean, that we should have the clarification on, right? The first thing is customer value. So before understanding, I mean, before going to the process, I mean, before going to the factors of, factors which can influence on consumer behavior, first we need to clarify several terms. One is customer value. So what is a customer value? So the first thing is, I mean, so this is, I mean, even though we have, discussing this particular concept under one point, but when it comes to the real case, right, this is a very huge concept, customer value. So as an extension, we are talking about customer value chain, brand value chain. Likewise, I mean, these are a huge concept, but for now, we'll have a kind of a, sound understanding, right? So customer value is simply, right? It is a trade-off between the benefits and the cost. What are the benefits that customers are getting? And in order to get those benefits, what are the things that they are sacrificing, or what is the cost that they incur? So that is the simple definition customer when it comes to customer value. ඒ කියන්නේ product එකක් මේක valuable ද නැද්ද කියන එක decide කරන්න බලපාන main criteria දෙක තමයි, right? Pursued benefits. තමන්ට හම්බෙන benefits මොනවාද? Right? ඊළඟ එක තමයි what are the resources that you sacrifice? So නැත්තම් cost එක ඔයා මේ benefits ටික ගන්න ඔයා දරන cost එක මොකක්ද? එතන මේ දෙක evaluate කරලා තමයි you are going to decide whether this is valuable or not. customer කෙනෙක් විදිහට අපි product එකක් මේක වටිනවද නැද්ද කියලා තීරණය කරන්නේ මෙන්න මේ components දෙකමයි. When it comes to this customers pursued benefits, when it comes to this benefits part, I mean, මෙතන මේ තව එකක් කියන්නම්. This word pursue means perceive කියලා කියන්නේ මේ receive වෙන විදිය නෙවෙයි. තමන් understand කරගන්න විදිය. ඒකත් මම කියනවා. So why we have included this term as perceived instead of customer benefit. නිකන් customer benefit කියලා දාන්න තිබ්බනේ. So why we have inculcated a term called perceived? The reason is this benefit මේ හම්බෙන benefits ඒ කියන්නේ product එකකින් එකම benefits ටික හම්බෙන්න පුළුවන් හැමෝටම. එහෙම තමයි සාමාන්‍යයෙන් වෙන්නේ. But when it comes to the evaluation part, when it comes to the understanding, මේ perceive කියලා කියන්නේ understanding. How you as a customer understand this benefit. ඒක මම understand කරගන්න විදිය වෙනස්, ඔයා understand කරගන්න විදිය වෙනස්. ඒකයි same product එක ගැන අපි දෙන evaluation එක වෙනස් වෙන්නේ. One individual can say this is not a valuable product, but another person can say this is a valuable product. ඒක වෙනස් වෙන්නේ කොහොමද? අන්නර perceive කරන විදිය. How you observe, how you understand. Right? That is why the term perceived has been inculcated in. Right? ඒක තමයි මේ include කරලා තියෙන්නේ perceived කියන word එක. Right? Anyway, when it comes to these benefits, let's for few so by purchasing this product, මේ අනිත් එක තමයි customer value කියන එක අපි evaluate කරන්නේ before purchasing product, right? I mean, as customers, we are thinking on the value before purchasing a product, not after purchasing the product, right? Before purchase. Then we are thinking, what is the economical benefit that I'm getting? Simply as an example, if you are thinking on buying a CT100 motorbike, then you are having an economic benefit. What? You can save money. මොකද petrol ගොඩක් වැඩ කරනවා. That is the economic benefit that you are getting. Functional benefit. Functional benefits means, so from the product, they are saying to the people, again, brand එකෙන් කියනවා මිනිස්සුන්ට customers ලට, so in our product we have these particular things. අපේ fuel efficiency එක මෙච්චරයි, and you can ride up to 5,000 kilometers. I mean, free of maintenance එක කිලෝමීටර් 5000ක් දුවන්න පුළුවන්. ඒ කියන්නේ එකපාරක් සර්විස් කරලා. And also we will give you මොනවාද service guarantees as well. So these are functional benefits which you receive from the product, right? Then psychological means, so ඔයා හිතනවා product එක ගන්න කලින් මම මේක ගත්තොත්, so what will be the situation? ඒ කියන්නේ psychologically, I mean mentally, මම ඒ කියන්නේ whether I will be happy or not. Because I mean, in your life as well, you have taken some decisions, no, whether where whether you are having a dissonance. Again, ඔයාලත් ඔයාලගේ ජීවිතයේ තීරණ අරන් ඇති. සමහර products purchase කරලා ඇති. ගත්තට පස්සේ අයියෝ අපරාධ ගන්න. අපරාධ මේ restaurant එකෙන් ගියා. You might have that experience. එතකොට මේ ගන්න කලින් තමන් බලනවා තමන්ට psychologically making stress එකක් නැත්නම් ඒ කියන්නේ dissonance එකක් ඇති වෙයිද? නැත්නම් benefit එකක් එනවද? Right? So you are having that evaluation before buying the product. එතකොට මෙන්න මේ components තුනේ මෙන්න මේ කියන කොටස් තුනෙන් ඔන්න benefits හම්බෙන්න පුළුවන්. Right? Then we'll go to the cost part, right? Or the resources that you are sacrificing, right? Or in order to have these benefits, what are the things that you are what are the things that you sacrifice? නැත්නම් මොනවද මේ වෙනුවෙන් කැප කරන resources මොනවද කියලා. Right? One is monetary. If you want to buy a product, you should spend some money, right? On a monetary cost එකක් තියෙනවා. Then next one, time. Because before buying the product, you are having some evaluations on the other product. I mean, you are having some evaluations on the brands which are available in the market. So it takes time. And also when you are going to buy the product, even you have to spend some time. It's not time cost good here. Then the next one is effort. Yes. When you are spending time, automatically what happens? You are putting an effort, right? Time එක spend කරනවා වගේම effort එකකුත් දානවා ඒත් එක්කම. Information search කරන්න, සමහරට ඒ අදාළ location එක ගිහලා product එක purchase කරන්න, you are putting an effort. That is also a cost. Then psychological means what? ඒක ගැන ඔළුවෙන් හිතන, ඒ කියන්නේ ඔයාලා හිතනවානේ මේක මේ product එක හොඳයි, මේ product එක හොඳයි, යාළුවන්ගෙන් අහනවා, අරකින් හොයනවා, මෙහෙම හොයනවා කියලා. So psychologically, for for a specific time of period, right? I mean, I'm not going to say you are being stressed, but you are, allocating a time. I mean, you are allocating a time. Again, mind එකෙන් ඔයා කොටසක් again වෙලාවක් වෙන් කරනවා මෙන්න මේ product එක purchase කරන වෙලාවෙ. That is a psychological part. So මේකෙන් අපිට කියවෙන්නේ මොකද්ද? Yes, you are receiving benefit plus you are incurring a cost as well. Then make it trade-off එකක් විදියට. Trade-off එකක් means by comparing these two components, benefits and the cost, right? You are evaluate කරනවා මේක valuable ද නැද්ද කියලා. එතන මේ customers ලා මේක evaluate කරන විදිය marketeers ලට වැදගත්. Why? Because if we can develop a product which is valuable to, I mean, majority of the customers, then we can win the market. I mean, at the end of the day, we can have sales. Valuable product එකක් හදන්න පුළුවන් නම් අපිට sales වැඩි කරගන්න පුළුවන්. Right? Right. Next part, customer satisfaction. So now I'm talking from the perspective of the consumers and the customers, right? So as an example, if I'm the customer, right, after evaluating a product, right, if that product is good, if that product is valuable, then what I will do is then I will purchase that product. Make a purchase කරනවා. Then එතකොට මොකද වෙන්නේ? Purchase කරාට පස්සේ you are, after purchasing you are consuming the product, right? ඔන්න product එක consume කරනවා. Satisfaction කියලා කතා කරන්නේ අපි after purchasing the product. When you are මේ satisfaction එකේදී කතා කරන්නේ consume කරන්න ගන්න තැන ඉඳලා consume කරලා ඉවර වුණාට පස්සේ ඒ කියන්නේ මේ කතා කරන මේ සම්පූර්ණ journey එක ගැන තමයි මේ satisfaction කියලා කතා කරන්නේ. මම ඇයි මේ consume කරන්න පටන් ගන්න තැන ඉඳලා කිව්වේ? The reason is when you start consuming the product, right? Product එක consume කරන්න start කරන තැනදීම your evaluation starts. I mean, automatically your brain starts to evaluate your consumption experience. I mean, you are evaluating the performance of the product, whether this is performing or not, whether this is good or not, right? Consume කරන්න පටන් evaluate automatically, right? Satisfaction කියන්නේ මොකක්ද? The overall, performance again, that is the customer satisfaction. Overall evaluation on the performance of the product, that is customer satisfaction, right? එතකොට මේ overall මේ performance කියලා කතා කරන එක, it will be decided on two components, or else customer satisfaction depends on two components. The one is one is performance of the product. එකක් තමයි product එකේ තියෙන performance. Next one is your expectation, right? Then as an example, so if you happen to go to a textile shop to buy some clothes for you, right? Specific situation එකක් ගමුකෝ. If you happen to go to a textile shop to buy a dress, I mean, this for the ladies, right? So you are being invited for a wedding. Now you want to have a dress, right? Then on may textile shop ekata yanna karin, so we all know, right? Ladies, when it come to when it come to a dress, right? They are searching a lot. They are asking from the friends. They are searching in the Google, and even they are looking for the latest fashion trends as well. මේ ඔක්කොම ඔළුවේ තියාගෙන තමයි they are going to the textile shop, right? Under expectations, you are having expectations before buying the product. Product එක purchase කරන්න කලින් you are having some expectations. So with those expectations you are buying the product. ඒ expectations එක්ක තමයි product එක purchase කරන්නේ. That means when you are buying a dress, මොනවද ඔයාලා හිතන්නේ? Expectations වෙන්න පුළුවන්. It should be a dress. I mean, it should be a very attractive dress where others should stare at you. ඔයා ඒක අඳහම අනිත් කට්ටිය ඔයා දිහා බලන්න ඕනේ. That can be an expectation. ඔන්න දැන් අඳුම අරන් එනවා, ගෙදර අරන් එනවා. ඊට පස්සේ ඔන්න දැන් wedding එකේ දවසේ එනවා. You have that dress, right? I mean, now ඔන්න දැන් ඇඳගත්තා. You are going to the wedding, but no one is looking at you. So what will happen? Yes, students, what will happen? Hitan, you have spent around 20,000 to the dress, right? Now you are at the wedding with that dress, but no one is looking at you and no one is saying that you are very beautiful. So what will happen to the overall evaluation? Anyone? What will happen to the overall evaluation? Well, question. Yes. So what will happen to you if you are the person? Students, yes, 122. It is in material whether you are a male or female, right? I just need your answer. Yes, 122. Sorry for reading your, registration number since others are not, responding. Yes, 122. Or anyone else? So what will be your overall evaluation on the product? If you cannot, unmute your mic, please drop a message in the chat box. Even. Anyway, right. So seems like you're not responding, right? So what will happen is, so if I'm the person, right, I will be dissatisfied. The reason is because I have spent a lot of money on buying that particular product, and I'm not getting the expected performance out from the product. So therefore, my overall evaluation will be, I will be, I will have a dissonance on the product, right? So that is the case, right? So satisfaction will be, simply I will be dissatisfied on the product. And when it comes to the satisfaction, so please have a note. If you are having a note, right? If you are keeping a note, please note this down, right? When it comes to satisfaction, we are having three levels when it comes to satisfaction. One is satisfaction, just satisfaction. Nikang, I'm okay with this product. Next one is I'm dissatisfied. Again, satisfied කියන එක වෙන්නේ if the product performance and your expectations are equal. මේ දෙක equal නම් you are merely satisfied with the product. One stage. Next stage, dissatisfied. Dissatisfied means your expectations are higher than what? The performance of the product. ඔයාගේ expectations වැඩි, performance අඩුයි product එක. ඒ වෙලාවට මොකද වෙන්නේ? You will be dissatisfied on the product. Right? Next one is you will be delighted. Delighted means what? If the product performance exceeds your expectations, or හිතුවත් නැහැ මෙච්චර performance එකක් හම්බෙයි කියලා product එක. ඒ වෙලාවට you will be delighted. So these are the three levels that you need to keep in your mind when it comes to customer satisfaction. Right. The next term is customer retention. Retention is about, right? So the simple meaning of the retention is keeping the customers with you. Right? Keeping the customers with you කියලා කියන්නේ මම මේ අදහස් කරන brand එකක් විදිහට කතා කරනකොට කියන්නේ for a brand retention means keeping the customers with them. Keep continuing. If we can keep our customers for a longer period of time, if we can keep our customers for a longer period of time, that is about the retention. That is about the retention, right? Like customer retention එක ගැන අපි කතා කරන්නේ වැදගත්ම හේතුව තමයි. The reason is customer retention is very, very important for a success of a business. Business sector success sector, it is very, very important. Because retention will decide your sales. The retention will decide your sales number simply. Where the customers ඔයාගේ ව්‍යාපාරය දාලා යනවා නම්, right? Then definitely the sales number will be very low and it will be deteriorated. Then එක decline වෙලා යයි. If the retention rate is high, that means what? The people, there are again retention rate එක වැඩි කියන්නේ there are a lot of people with your business. ඒකට නිකම් මේ business එක ළඟ නිකන් හිටන් ඉන්නවා කියලා නෙවෙයි කියන්නේ. They are continuously purchasing product from your business. So as a result of that, I mean, consequently, what will happen is your sales will, increase. So that is the importance of, discussing on this term customer retention, right? So I hope you are clear with these three terms, right? Right. Next part is a very, very critical and a very important part when it comes to this consumer behavior. So මෙන්න මේකෙදි මෙන්න මේ highlighted part එක ගැන focus කරන්න, right? The buyer's black box. Right. Before coming to that, stimulus response model එකක් කියලා කියන්නේ මොකක්ද? Stimulus response model එකක් කියලා කියන්නේ, so in here, right? So marketeers, they are using this term or this graphic, right? මේ graphic එක මේ table එක පාවිච්චි කරන්නේ to understand the behavior of the consumer. I mean, how consumers are responding towards the marketing program. Simply marketing programs වලට කොහොමද consumers respond කරන්නේ. අන්න ඒක identify කරගන්න, ඒක evaluate කරන්න තමයි මෙන්න මේ image එක මේ graph එකේ තියෙන components ටික සලකා බලන්න. Right? I'm not going to dive into deep into this, I mean, component, because it's a very, very psychological part when it comes to consumer behavior, and it is not easy to understand within 2 hours. So therefore, I have developed another video for you with some examples, I mean, practical examples, right? So please watch that video. Then you will be clarified on this response model and why we should focus on this model. And also, before moving to the video, I should mention about this one as well, right? The buyer's black box. මෙතන තියෙන්නේ these are stimulis. The meaning of stimulis means stimuli එකක් කියලා කියන්නේ උත්තේජකයක්. ඒ කියන්නේ අපි product එකක් ගන්න කලින්, so we are looking for several, හිතන්නකො example advertisement එකක්. If you happen to see an advertisement, right? Advertisement එකක් දැක්කට පස්සේ how you are going to respond to that advertisement. අන්නේ responding part එක decide වෙන්නේ මොකක්ද? මොකක් මතද? ඒතර advertisement එකක් කියන්නේ it is a stimuli, උත්තේජකයක්. Marketing programs වල එන එක කොටසක් තමයි advertisements කියන්නේ. So that is a stimuli, right? ඒ stimuli එකට අපි කොහොමද consumer කෙනෙක් විදිහට අපි කොහොමද respond කරන්නේ? ඒ response එකට බලපාන factors ටික තමයි මේ තියෙන්නේ. These are the buyer characteristics. So these are the factors that can influence on this response part, right? And in here you can see the decision making process. Because when it comes to each and every purchase, we can see this decision making process. හැම purchasing එකකම මෙන්න මේ decision making process කියන එක අපිට දැක ගන්න පුළුවන්. අපි ඒක හරියට clarify කරගන්න. So මේ decision making process එකට තමයි, so please pay your attention carefully, right? For this decision making process, right? මේ decision making process එකේ we can see there are several stages: problem recognition, information search. Likewise, there are some stages. So for each and every stage, these components are influencing. හොඳට අහගන්න මතක තියාගන්න. These components are influencing on each and every stage of decision making process. As an example, when you are identifying the problem, even මේ problem එක identify කරගන්න විදිය බව තීරණය වෙන්නේ on your attitude, what is your personality, motivation. So we'll discuss later what are these concepts. මෙන්න මේ කියන කාරණා මත තමයි මේ හැම stage එකක්ම තීරණය වෙන්නේ. ඒක කොහොමද ඒ stage එක මොන විදියටද තමයි conclude කරන්න කියන එක තීරණය වෙන්නේ ඒ කියන කාරණා මත. Right? I have developed a small video, so please watch that video. Then you will get a good understanding about this black box and stimulus response model, right?
Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today we're diving into one of the foundational concepts of consumer behavior, the stimulus response model. So what exactly is the stimulus response model? Simply put, it explains how consumers react to marketing stimuli. Imagine you're walking down the street and you see a billboard advertising the latest smartphone. That billboard is the stimulus. Your reaction, whether it's interest, indifference, or annoyance, is the response. Let's break it down. The model starts with the stimulus. This could be anything from an ad, a promotional email, or even word of mouth. The key here is that the stimulus captures the consumer's attention. Next, we have the black box. No, it's not as mysterious as it sounds. The black box represents the consumer's mind. It includes the consumer's characteristics, like their beliefs, attitudes, and personal experiences. The black box is where the magic happens, the internal processing of the stimulus. Finally, we get to the response. This is the consumer's action or reaction to the stimulus. It could be buying the product, searching for more information, or even ignoring the stimulus entirely. Now let's add some real-world context. Remember that smartphone billboard? Here's how it plays out. The billboard, stimulus, catches your eye. Your black box kicks in, processing the information with your existing knowledge and desires. Maybe you've been thinking about upgrading your phone. The response, you head to the store to check it out. Why is this model crucial for marketers? Understanding the stimulus response model helps marketers create effective campaigns. By knowing what stimuli work and how consumers process them, marketers can craft messages that resonate and drive action. All right, let's sum it up. The stimulus response model is a straightforward yet powerful tool in understanding consumer behavior. It breaks down into three parts: the stimulus, the black box, and the response. Master this model, and you'll be well on your way to creating marketing strategies that hit the mark. Thanks for sticking around. If you found this video helpful, give it a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe for more insights into the world of marketing. Catch you in the next one. Hey.
Right. Video and plus kind of understand this black box and stimulus response. And uh, right. Then the next part is about the buyer characteristic. So in the stimulus response model, so we have mentioned kara these are the buyer characteristics here. But in here you can see that I have included these buyer characteristics under 4 main categories. එතන categories 4ක ඔයාලට බලා ගන්න පුළුවන් මේ buyer characteristics. ඒ කියන්නේ අර එක column එකක තිබ්බ buyer characteristics ටික site වල වැඩියෙන් මෙතන දෙනවා. Right? ඒවා ටික I mean by considering the similarities, by considering similar characteristics, right? We can divide these characteristics into 4 categories, 4 main categories. So as you can see, one is cultural. So in here, what we are trying to emphasize is, right? So cultural factors of individuals, cultural factors of consumers can influence on their decision making. කියන්නේ පුද්ගලයෙකුගේ එයා follow කරන cultural values, beliefs ඒවා තියෙනවානේ. ඒ factors බලපානවා තමන්ගේ decision making process එකට simply. Next one is social. සමාජයේ තමන් කොහොමද ජීවත් වෙන්නේ? As a social being, how you are behaving in society, how you are interacting with the society, and depending on that, right, these factors can influence on your decision making. So we'll discuss one by one later, and I have developed some videos as well. Then next one is personal factors. So I mean, besides these cultural and social factors, yes, your personal factors are also influencing on your decision making. Personal factors means, so it is about you. I mean, again, you are the person who is deciding these personal factors. Your lifestyle, how you are going to spend your lifestyle, that is up to you. Your personality, that is up to you, right? Then economic situation, that means simply your income, right? Income decides by you, right? So these are the personal factors, and these factors can be influenced on your final decision making. I mean, not the final decision making only, right? I mean, throughout the decision making process. Then the final fact is psychological. Psychological means internal vision. Plus how you are thinking. I mean, attitude when it comes to perception. Perception means how you are seeing the world. ඔයා කොහොමද ලෝකයේ වෙන දේවල්. How you are evaluating. Right? සමහර කට්ටිය කියනවා, this is not good. He is not behaving in a good way. Same situation එකට තව එක්කෙනෙක් කියනවා, no, it is right, because that is his freedom. These are two perceptions. Perceptions දෙකක් උනේ කොහොමද? එකම situation එක ගැන. The case is how you are thinking, how you are psychological. So these are the 4 main categories that we are going to discuss today. I mean, from this point onwards. and we will discuss how these points are going to influence on the consumer behavior as well, right? So we'll discuss one by one. First one is cultural factors. So under the cultural factors, there were three components, right? Culture, subculture, and if I'm not mistaken, social class. Yes, right? These are the three factors which are in cultural factors, right? So first we'll clarify what is a culture, right? So in here I have highlighted in red the main components that you need to keep in your mind when it comes to culture. So culture means, so culture exists within a society. ඒක හොඳට මතක තියාගන්න. ඒකේ මම අදහස් කරන්නේ cultures cannot be formed by individual people. I mean by an individual person. තනි පුද්ගලයෙකුට තමයි මේක මගේ culture එක කියාගෙන එහෙම හැසිරෙන්න බෑ. That will not be a culture. Why? Because when it comes to a culture, it should be within a society. සමාජයක් ඇතුලේ තිබිය යුතු දෙයක් මේ කල්චර් එකේ. තනි පුද්ගලයෙක් මේක මගේ කල්චර් එකක් කිව්වා කියලා ඒක කල්චර් එකක් වෙන්නේ නැහැ. ඒක that is up to you. කල්චර් එක මොකද තව කැරක්ටර් කියන්නේ ඇට්‍රිබියුට් එකක් වෙන එක තමයි. Culture should be shared and it should be accepted by others. That does not mean that whole Sri Lankan people should adhere to what these people are saying. ඒ කියන්නේ මේ කියන දේවල් වලට adhere වෙන්න ඕන කියලා නෙවෙයි කියන්නේ. group විදිහට කල්චර්ස් තියෙන්න පුළුවන්. ඒ කල්චර් එකේ ඩෙෆිනිෂන් තමයි දෙන්නෙක් හෝ වැඩි පිරිසක් අතර ෂෙයා වෙන්න ඕනේ. සමහරට ඒක වැලියු එකක් වෙන්න පුළුවන්, බිලීෆ් එකක් වෙන්න පුළුවන්, කස්ටම් එකක් වෙන්න පුළුවන්. මේක ෂෙයා වෙන්න ඕනේ. Then it will become a culture. So this is just an example, right? So think about your, you are having some, groups, no? In your department as well, you are having some friends group. Again, යාළුවෝගේ පොඩි set තියෙනවනේ. හරි? You are having set of friends. And within this set of friends, right? Within this group, you are having some set of, values and beliefs. Again, you are having some, you are having some ways of behaving, right? Again, some when you are having the lunch, when you are having the dinner, you are having the lunch. I mean, as a group, තනියම කන්නේ නැහැ, group එකක් විදියට කන්නේ. Culture එකක්. ඔයාලේ group එකේ තියෙන culture එකක්. තනියම කෑවොත් මොකද වෙන්නේ? If a person happens to have his lunch, individually, separately, what will happen to him? At the first, if that is the first time, bunny මොකක්ද බං කරන්නේ මෙහෙමයි මේ selfish වෙන්න එපා කියලා කියන්නේ. දෙකක් තුනක් දිගට මෙයා continuously, if that person happens to do that, then what you will do as a group? You will eliminate that particular group from the group. That person from the group. Or you will expel that person from the group. That is what will happen. What can happen? Another culture එකක් කියන්නේ group එකක් විසින් share කරගත්ත values, attitude, system එකක් තියෙන set එක. If one person happens to ignore the values, beliefs of that particular group, what will happen is that particular individual will be rejected. A group එකෙන් rejected. හරි? ඕක තමයි culture එකකින් එන්නේ. So this culture will influence on your consumption patterns as well. ඒ කියන්නේ කොහොමද? As an example, if in your group, right? හිතන්නකෝ ඔයාලා අපි group එක ගන්න නැතිමුකෝ. මම නිකන් සරල example එකක් කියන්න. So in here, in this session, there can be students from different religions. You can be a Buddhist, you can be a Hindu person, right? So it is immaterial, right? But upon your religion, or upon the things that you believe, the pattern, the way that you dress will be different. When you are going to a temple, right, the way you dress is different, right? When you are going to a church or when you are going to a kovil, the way you dress is different, right? What tuition class andina aduma neweni kovil ta dinne. And the culture has influenced on your, again, ඔයා ඒ අඳුම ගත්තේ ඒ අදාළ තැනට යන්න. ඒ පන්සල් යන්න මේ අඳුම ගන්න. Right? කෝවිලට යන්න මේ අඳුම ගන්න. And also there's another thing, even, right? So, as Sri Lankan, right? So we have kind of set of standards when it comes to our meals. The patterns of meals. When it comes to breakfast, we can have these kinds of, products. We can have string hoppers, milk rice, there are set of things that are coming with our tradition. අපේ tradition එකත් එක්කන meals ටිකක් තියෙනවා. දවල්ට මේ ටික කෑවොත් හොඳයි. රැයට මේවා කෑවොත් හොඳයි. So there are some set of guidelines in our culture. අන්න ඒ guidelines එක්ක අපේ consumption patterns වෙනස් වෙනවා. සමහරවිට අපි කන බොන දේවල් වෙනස් වෙනවා. That is the influence of culture, right? Next part, subculture. Subculture means, so if we take Sri Lanka, Sri Lankan culture, Sri Lanka as a culture, ලංකාව රටක් විදියට, කියන්නේ we as Sri Lankans, it is in material the religion, but we as Sri Lankans, we do have a culture. We do have a main culture. ශ්‍රී ලාංකික කියලා අපිට main culture එකක් තියෙනවා. ඒ culture එකේ තියෙනවා we have values, uh, by excluding the religion, right? We have set of value systems, right? When it comes to the hospitality, we are very good at hospitality as Sri Lankans, right? When it comes to sharing, we are very good at sharing as Sri Lankan, not by religions, as Sri Lankans, right? කවුරුරේ වයසක එක්කෙනෙක් බස් එකට නැග්ගොත් religion එක අපිට අදාළ නැහැ, we are giving our seat, right? That is the Sri Lankan culture. මෙතනද අපි කතා කරන්නේ when it comes to subculture, මෙතන කතා කරන්නේ yes, we do have a main culture, and under that main culture we do have some subculture. Subculture එකක් කියලා කියන්නේ මේ අපි කියන මහා සංස්කෘතිය යටතේ we can see some other cultures as well. Align into the main culture. So religious wise, we do have set of culture. Buddhist people, they're having separate culture. Hindu people, they're having separate culture. Islam people, they're having a separate culture, right? These are, with the religion, right? With respect to the religion, they are having separate cultures, right? ඒ විතරක් නෙවෙයි regions wise ලංකාවේ මේ දකුණේ කට්ටිය මේ north central කට්ටිය මේ මොනවාද central province කට්ටිය the language even it is different, right? That is a part of subculture. අඳින විදිය different. ලංකාව ගත්තත් region wise ගත්තත් there's a difference when it comes to the life patterns even, right? The way they dress, their meal, the things that they eat even, right? The language they use, right? There are some differences when it comes to regions as well, right? And there's another good example, that is when it comes to universities as well. When it comes to universities, you are having subcultures. Japura, they have a different culture. Rajarata, we have a different culture. Hendeniya, they have a different culture. Sabaragamu, Velasa. So these people, they are having some unique culture, right? Without anna university wise, අපිට බලා ගන්න පුළුවන් මේ different, ඒ කියන්නේ subcultures. ඒක ඕනේ නැහැ. ඊට වඩා පොඩි එකකයකට යන්නම්කෝ. Even in your family, each and every family, they do have a culture. They do have a way of behaving, right? With the the values, with the beliefs, with the traditions transferred by your parents to you. Again, parents are transfer කරපු දේවල් අනුව you have a family culture. සමහර කට්ටිය උදේට යනකොට අනිවාර්යෙන් අම්මට තාත්තට වඳිනවා. සමහරට රැට නිදා ගන්නකොට සමහර කට්ටිය වඳිනවා. That is a part of their culture. That is a part of their family culture. When it comes to their lunch, dinner and all, when they are having their meals, there are some families, they are having the meal together. එකට තමයි එක මේස ඉඳගෙන they are having the meal. But there are some other families, they are not having the same thing, right? තමන්ට බඩගින්න තමන් කනවා. So these are subcultures. So depending on that, your pattern, consumption patterns will be changed. Some other families, when they are going for a wedding, they are going with the same color. When they are going for a function, they are having, they are trying to maintain a uniqueness when it comes to their family. So අන්න uniqueness එක බලපානවා with their consumption. කලර් එකක්, සමහරවිට brand එකක් select කරනකොට එයාලා maintain කරන status එක අනුව, right? Your consumption patterns may be different, may vary, right? Next factor. Social class. Social class means it is the status of your family. Social class එකක් කියලා කියන්නේ not the family, ඒ කියන්නේ social class කියන එක we can evaluate family wise as well, and plus we can, if you are an individual, we can decide your family social class as well. Individuals like වගේම families වලත් we can evaluate the social class. But the social class will determine on the status. I mean, on the assets that you have, on the income that you generate, and on the occupation that you are having, right? මෙන්න මේ කියන කාරණා මත තමයි මේ social class එක social ඒ කියන්නේ මේ class එකක් කියන්නේ so ඇයි සමාජ පන්තියක් අපි හදන්නේ සමාජ පන්තියක් හදන්නේ ඒ කියන්නේ so we as social beings, right? So each and every one of us, we want to be in a community. අපි හැමෝම යම් කිසි community එකකට අයත් වෙන්න කැමතියි. Whether it is poor, whether it is middle, or whether it is high, we want to, so we want us to be at a a community, or we want us to be belong to a community. So මේ community එකකට අයිති වෙන්න අපි හදන නිසා, right? මොකද කරලා තියෙන්නේ socially they have set of levels. They have levels. So when it comes to Sri Lanka, so we can see there are 3 levels when it comes to social: upper class, middle class, lower class. So ඔයාට හිතුණා කියලාට upper class එකට යන්න බෑ. So they have set of criteria, right? You should have this much of money, you should have this much of assets. So if you are having this, if you are accomplishing these criteria, then you can go to that particular class, upper class, unless they will not accept. ඔයාට තනියෙන් කියන්න බෑ මම මේ class එකේ. එහෙම කියන්න බෑ. Society will we give you a class depending on your status that you are maintaining, right? So there are different ways that we can evaluate a social class. So this is the one way. I mean, society can decide your social class. That is the one way. And government එකෙන් මේ වැඩේ කරනවා ලංකාවේ. Statistics department එකෙන්, right? So they are doing the same. They are සමහරට මතක ඇති සංගණනයකට ගෙදරට එනකොට they are asking for your income, they are asking for your assets, what are the things that you have. Likewise, they are asking different things from you. So by asking these questions, what they do is they are deciding your social class. They are not giving you the chance to decide the social class, but they are deciding the social class depending on the criteria that they have. ඒ criteria මත යාලා social class එක decide කරනවා, right? So ඒ measurements ගැන අපිට දැනට ඕනේ නැහැ, because for now, since this consumer behavior is just a lesson for you, so we do not want to have the measurements, and there are ways to measure even, right, the social class. So there are economic variables that we should consider when it comes to social class. There are social variables that we should consider when it comes to social class. So there are a lot of things like that. But just for now, so please look at this particular facet from the perspective of this is going to influence on the consumer behavior, right? May factor consumer behavior influence as an example, if you are upper class person, I mean, if you're having if you're having lot of good money, right, then your life pattern is totally different from a poor guy, right? The vehicles that you use, the watch that you are wearing, that you are going to wear, or even that you are going to buy, right, the dresses that you are going to buy, or the clothes that you are going to buy, it will be totally different from that poor person. That is the thing that I want to emphasize in here, right? That means class-wise, the consumption patterns are different. So therefore, as marketeers, if you are going to be a marketer in the future, right, this part is very crucial. Why? Because if you happen to sell a product, right? If you are going to sell a can base come to products as well, we have some category. Make a premium කට්ටියට, make a middle කට්ටියට, make a lower කට්ටියට කියලා products categorize වෙනවා. Before doing the advertising campaigns, right? So හිතන්න මේ lower class එකට විකුණන්න හදන product එකක්, if you are trying to sell to the upper class people, what will happen? They will reject, and plus they will criticize. අපි ඔය වගේ products ගන්න, we have money. And ඒ හින්දා it is better, I mean, not better never, it is essential to have the understanding about the social class of the consumers, because depending on that, their patterns are changing, their consumption patterns are changing, right? Now we have discussed one category, that is cultural factors. The next factor is social factors. සමාජීය සාධක මොනවද මේ decision making process එකට influence කරන්න පුළුවන්. One is reference group. Reference groups means refer කියලා කියන්නේ you are referring someone as an individual. So as individuals, all of us, we do this part, right? All of us, we tend to refer someone. For different, okay, for different things, right? We tend to refer different people. Say for an example, right? If you are in need of buying a dress for a wedding, right? If you are in need of buying a dress for a wedding, then in your set or in your scope, you have set of people who are expertise on that particular, product. Wedding dress කිව්වොත් මේ මෙයා තමයි. මෙයාගෙන් ඇහුවොත් ඕක හරි. You are having that kind of friends, no? Definitely you might have, right? then මොකද කරන්නේ? You are referring to that particular person. Machang, I am having a wedding, right? I want to go out there. So what will be the dress? Or what will be the suitable dress for me for this particular part? යාළුවා අහනවා මචං, so what kind of a function is that? Whether it is a night function, whether it is a day function. So what is the function? It is a night function. If it is a night function, you should wear like this. If you want to be attractive, you should wear these types of colors. And යාළුවා දෙනවා opinions. And reference taking වෙන්නේ එකයි, you are trying to refer a person, set of individuals or groups. When it come to එක එක purchasing වලට එක එක needs වලට එනකොට ඔයා එක එක කට්ටියව refer කරනවා. හරි, this is about the reference groups. And even when it come to university life as well. So earlier I mentioned that you are having sets. You are having set of friends. Even though in a department we are having 100 students or 50 students or whatever the number, all the students are not your, all the people are not in your set, no. ඔයාගේ set එකට අයිති වෙන්නේ නැහැ. ඔය සමහරට 10ක් 15ක් වගේ තමයි set එකට අයිති වෙන්නේ. set එකක් කියන්නේ. එතකොට in this set, as I mentioned earlier, you are having a culture. Plus, right? When you are in this set, when you are in this group, you are trying to refer the other person. So what you are wearing, what is the phone that you are using, right? What are the brands that you are using? අන්න ඔයාලා හැම වෙලෙම refer කරනවා. group එකක් විදිහට, set එකක් විදිහට. ඔයා ඇඳුම් ගන්න මෙතන ඉන්නම්, සමහරට group එකේ අනිත් set එක අතර එතනින් ඇඳුම් ගන්න. If you happen to buy your smartphone from that particular place, then you will direct your friends as well to that particular place. This is the influence of reference groups. අන්න reference group එකක තියෙන influence එක. I hope you are clear, right? Reference group. Then the next factor is family. This is about your family, right? This is about your family. So as I mentioned earlier, right? When we are discussing about the culture, so each and every family, they do have a culture. එතකොට මේ reference groups වලට ආවම තමයි family කියලා වෙනම කතා කරනවා. හේතුව තමයි when it come to family, right? So if you are the son, ඔයා නම් ගෙදර ඉන්න පුතා, right? And if you are having siblings, සහෝදර සහෝදරි ඉන්නවා නම්, if you are having brothers and sisters, right? Then what you will do is when you are growing up, you are trying to refer your siblings, your sisters, your brothers, specifically your brother, since you are a boy. So how he is dressing, how he is behaving, how he is talking, right? You are trying to refer. Even your father as well. So how father is behaving, how he is dressing, right? So you are referring. So each and every individual, each and every one of us, right? We have, in our life, right? We have referred our family members. So as a result of that, so since we are referring, as they can better me referring කියලා කතා කරන්නේ මේ reference group එකේ referring නෙවෙයි. පැටල ගන්න එපා, right? So since we are considering, මම මේ වචන පාවිච්චි කරන්නේ, since we are considering as an example, මම classic example එකක් කියන්නම්. I think some of you guys might have experienced this particular scenario. Most of the ladies. So this is an example pertaining to ladies, right? So you might have experienced that. So Itanda, you have been invited for a party. Itanda ko samata for a birthday party, right? So now you are imagine now we are at grade 12, right? Grade 12. So you want to have a kind of a short dress. I mean, you want to wear a short dress for this birthday party, right? And so you requested some money from your parents. I mean, as a daughter, you are so most probably you will go at your father, right? Yes, father will give some money, but father will say, please go with your mother. So yes, you can have a dress. Please go with your mother because he knows about you, right? So now, when you are going to buy a dress for that particular party, or no select karna short dress lega. It's very nice, very attractive, right? No, you can't have this one. Till you are at grade 12, till you are going to school, right? So after all levels, you can do whatever you prefer, but for now you cannot do. And what happened? Because of that family consideration, I mean, because of your mother's consideration, what happens to your decision? And short dress එකක් ගන්න ගිය ඔයා දැන් සමහරට දිග ගවුමක් අරගෙන එනවා. සමහරට so you want to have some openings, I mean පොඩි cuts dress එකේ තියෙන එහෙම එකක් expect කරලා ගියේ, but mother said that you cannot have such. සමහරට salon එකකට යන්න යනවා, you want to have some colors. Mother say no, till you are going to schools you cannot have colors. And family influenced on your decision making, right? That is our family, right? Next one, roles and status, right? Roles and status means, so in our life, right? So we are playing different roles. I mean, each and every individual, right? So even including me, even including you, right? We are playing different roles. You are playing your role as a son, and when it's come to the university, you are playing your role as a student. And if you are working, then you are playing your role as an employee. So depending on this role that you are playing, right? Your consumptions are your consumption can be varied. As a student, right? Student connect with it, you will look for, again, if you want to eat, නිකන් ඕන පොඩි කඩේකින් ආ ස්ටුඩන්ට් කෙනෙක් විතර යාළුවෝ සෙට් එකක් ගිහලා කනවා. හැබැයි when it's come to the role of employee, සමහරට executive job එකක් කරන්න. සමහරට නිකන් හොඳ salary එකක් හම්බ වෙන job එකක් කරන්න. සමහරට medical rep කෙනෙක් කියමුකෝ. Even in that position, you will not go for a අර අපි කියන cyber කඩේකට ගිහිල්ලා කන්නේ නැහැ. You will go for a good one to have your lunch or dinner, right? And depending on your role and plus, so because of the role you are having the state role එකත් එක්ක ඔයාලට status එකක්. You should maintain the status. පුතෙක් විදියට you should maintain this status. As a friend you should maintain this status. As a boyfriend or girlfriend you should maintain this status, right? So for each and every role we play, we do have a status. And depending on that status, our decisions makings can be different. එකම පුද්ගලයා උදේට සමහර සයිබර් කාඩෙන් කරන හවසට කියනවා නෑ මට සයිබර් කාඩෙන් කරන්න බෑ. And that's because of your role and status, right? So as marketeers we should think on these things as well. Because why? Because this will influence on the final decision of the consumer. Final decision කියලා කියන්නේ product එක purchase කරනවද නැද්ද කියන එකට මේක influence කරනවා. Right? So up to this point, are you clear? Students, are you clear up to this point? I need your answers. Please cooperate with me. Are you clear up to now?
Yes.
Right. Okay. So and plus, if you are having any concern, please, if you cannot unmute your mic, please drop to the chat box even, right? And I really like if you can unmute your mic and ask questions plus ask for clarifications, right? So that is something that is a kind of that will be a kind of a dream for me, right? While I'm unmute කරලා question එකක් අහනවා කියන්නේ නිකන් හීනයක් වගේ තියෙයි, because since you are not interacting with me actively, right? Even marketing students, right? So I hope you know me. So you can ask questions plus please be kind enough to give answers when I'm asking questions, right? Right. The next factor is personal factors, right? So this is the third part that we are going to discuss discussed, right, under the black box, right? So in the black box, there was a part called biocharacteristics, and under the biocharacteristics, we have identified there are main 4 categories, and up to now we have discussed 2 main categories, and this is the third category that we are going to discuss: personal factor. So I'm not going to explain this part. The reason is, so when I was explaining about the rest, I mean, not the rest actually, when I was explaining about the previous things, I have touched these particular things. So I mean, therefore, right, I have developed another video for you. So that video also considering, I mean, I have inculcated, it's a AI generated video, right? I'm not I'm not the developer, right? I just gave the concept and plus done some, small amendments, right? That's all I have done, right? So in that video, I have included, I have inculcated some examples as well. So you will get a better understanding rather than my explanation. So we'll watch that video, right? I mean, in this video, so please pay your attention carefully. So in this video, it is going to explain how these personal factors can influence on this decision making process, right?
Hey there! Ever wondered why you buy the things you do? It's not just about what you need, it's also about who you are. Let's dive into how personal factors like age, job, lifestyle, and personality shape your consumer behavior. First up, age and stage in the life cycle. Think about it. What you wanted as a kid is totally different from what you want now, right? When you're a student, you might be all about that new tech gadget or trendy clothes. But as you grow older, your priorities shift. Maybe you start investing in quality over quantity, or you look for products that make life easier. Your needs evolve, and so do your buying choices. Next, let's talk about occupation and economic circumstances. Your job has a huge impact on what you buy. If you're a student, you're probably on a budget, so you're hunting for deals, student discounts, and affordable essentials. But once you land that first job, you might splurge a bit more on things you couldn't afford before. And if you climb the career ladder, your spending habits might shift again, going for more premium products or experiences. Your economic situation plays a big role in shaping your consumer behavior. Now let's get into lifestyle. Your lifestyle is all about how you spend your time and money. Are you into fitness? You'll probably invest in gym memberships, workout gear, and healthy foods. Love traveling? You'll spend on tickets, hotels, and adventure gear. Your hobbies, interests, and daily routines all influence what you buy. It's about aligning your purchases with the life you want to live. Lastly, there's personality and self-concept. This is about how you see yourself and how you want others to see you. Are you someone who loves to stand out? You might go for bold fashion choices and unique gadgets. If you see yourself as eco-conscious, you'll likely buy sustainable products. Your personality traits, whether you're introverted, extroverted, adventurous or cautious, all play into your buying habits. So, next time you're about to make a purchase, take a moment to think about why. Is it because of your age, your job, your lifestyle, or your personality? Understanding these factors can help you make more mindful choices. And who knows, you might even discover something new about yourself. Thanks for tuning in. If you found this video helpful, give it a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe for more insights like these. See you in the next one.
Right. So I hope you have got the understanding on personal factors and how it is going to influence on this decision making process. So as I mentioned earlier as well, I will share you these videos, then you can get a better understanding, right? Okay. The final factor that we are going to discuss under the biocharacteristics is psychological factors. So this is also a very, very important part when it comes to the consumer behavior, because as we all know, psychology can, change the whole scenario, right? Psychology of an individual can change the whole scenario, the whole decision making process. So therefore this is very, very important. So we'll discuss one by one, and I'm not going to, again, I'm saying I'm not going to go into deep. I mean, when it's come to like, so we are having a separate module called consumer behavior. So in that particular course module, these particular parts are different. I mean, separate lesson. Motivation is a separate lesson. Learning is a separate lesson. Attitude are separate. I mean, we are discussing these parts as separate lessons. So we have a lot of theories and models under motivation, learning, and attitude. So I'm not going to touch those parts, but I'm going to touch the surface part of each and every concept, right? So first we'll clarify what is motivation. So according to your understanding, what is motivation? Anyone? What is motivation? Anyone from here? I hope you have learned. I mean, like, so you have touched these components, right? Under the marketing management lessons. Am I correct? You have touched these concepts, right? So what is your understanding? I mean, it should, I mean, I'm not expecting a theoretical answer. I need your own explanations. What is motivation according to your understanding? Yes. Anyone from here? Even from marketing students? What is motivation? Be quick, right? Yes. Okay. So if you're not answering, I will give you the answer, right? Motivation is simply, so it is, so in here, right? I mean, in the society as well, I mean, in YouTube, social media, I mean, in social media platforms, we can see these words, in so much of, areas. Motivation. Lot of people are talking about motivation, even industry people, even CEOs, they are talking about motivation. But that is, I mean, like, so motivation is a concept where, other, I mean, like, third party people, right? They cannot motivate you simply. They cannot motivate you. They can facilitate you to be motivated. That is the thing. As speaker, right? Having a message process that guides to maintain goal-oriented behavior. Yes, that is correct. Thank you, 372. So that is the definition which I have given in here, right? Anyway, thank you. Right? Thank you for your even the message, right? So so motivation is it is not something where others can, do, right? Where others can create. That is something that you should create by yourself, but third party. Right, where other people can, facilitate you to be motivated. I mean, they can show you the path, right? So these are the paths which are available, and if you are a learner, and if you are a good listener, plus if you are a good absorber, then you can be motivated, right? So when it's come to this, when we are talking about motivation, when it's come to consumer behavior, we are having a process as well, right? We are having separate process, but today I'm not having much time to talk about this motivational process. But there are few things that you need to be that you need to remember when it's come to motivation. So if you are maintaining the note, please note it down, right? When it's come to motivation, the first thing, if you want to be motivated, I mean, as a consumer, if you want to be motivated to buy something, because when it's come to buying something as well, so I do not know whether you know this one or not, right? So we should have a motivation. ඔයා මොන හරි දෙයක් purchase කරන්න, you should have the motivation. Unless you will not do. If you want to buy a smartphone, you should have the motivation. Unless you will, leave. ඒ කියන්නේ smartphone එකක් ගන්න ඕන නම් තවත් දානකො Samsung S23 එකක් ගන්න ඕන. If you want to buy that one, you should have the motivation. I mean, motivation කියලා මෙතන අදහස් කරන්නේ තමන් සල්ලි හම් කරලා එහෙම ගන්න නෙවෙයි. to buy that product, right? To behave in a particular way, you should have the motivation, right? The first thing is you should have an unsatisfied need, or you should have a need to be satisfied. First thing. Again, problem එකක් තියෙන්න ඕනේ මුලින්ම. Unsatisfied need එකක් තියෙන්න ඕනේ, motivation එකක් ඇති වෙන්න. The next thing is I'm saying these things in simple way, right? So there's a hell of a complex process, right, when it comes to motivation. But for your understanding, so please keep this in way, right? First thing is you should have an unsatisfied need. Then the next thing is in order to satisfy the unfulfilled need, you should have a goal. A unsatisfied goal, need achieve කරගන්න, fulfill කරගන්න, you should have a goal. And a goal fulfillment එකට තමයි අපි කියන්නේ මේ කියන process එකට තමයි කියන්නේ අපි motivation කියලා. As an example, then you have say for an example, so you have done your A levels, you have received your results, and you have came to know that you have selected for the university, but you have identified a problem, that is you are not having a laptop. Most of your friends they have told you that, so if you are going to the university, then it is better you can have a laptop, because almost like all the things are going with laptop based things, like assignments and all. All these things are going with this particular device. So therefore it is better to have, through the mobile phone as well we can do, but it is very difficult, right? To type a word even, right? To have the formattings, to develop some videos, and when it's come to in our department we are doing several campaigns as well. So therefore it is a kind of an essential device when it's come to our department, right? So on the friend, so you need to have, it is better to have a laptop. Then now you have identified a problem, that is what you need a laptop එකක් ඕනේ. එතකොට so in order to have a laptop, in order to buy a laptop, you should have a motivation. Yes, you are coming with the decision making process, information search, you are having evaluations, you are doing all these stuff, right? So all these way you should maintain the motivation, unless you will not be able to buy a laptop. Not ඔක්කොම information search කරලා brand එක ඔක්කොම select කරලා යන්න කම්මැලි. shop එකට ගිහලා ගන්න යන්න කම්මැලි. Then you will not buy. Then you will not be able to achieve the goal, right? So need එක තියෙන්නේ, you need a laptop නම් need එක තියෙන්නේ, then you need to have the goal. අර brand එකේ after the evaluations you can have a brand, මේ brand එකේ මේ laptop එක මම ගන්නවා. That is the goal, attainment. That is the goal. ඒ goal එක achieve කරන්න තමයි ඔයාගේ මේ motivation process එක සිද්ධ වෙන්නේ. Right? That is about motivation. So this process, this motivation, right, it influence on your decision making process. So since I have mentioned an example as well, you can see that. So the whole way through, right, this motivation process will, it is going to influence on your decision making process. The next part is learning. So learning means, learning කියන්නේ ඇත්තටම හොඳ වචනයක්. So it is a word where we do not really like to accept, but in public we say that we are people who are learning, we prefer to learn, but in real we are not learning. Learning is about how you are, right? How you are changing your future behavior, how you are changing your future behavior with the things that you have learned in the past and the present. Past එකේ සහ present එකේ ඉගෙන ගත්ත දේවල් වලින් how you are going to change your future. As an example, I will tell you a simple example, right? So you have faced different, you have faced some examinations in the university, and I hope you have received your results as well. So with your results, some of you guys might be not satisfied. අයියෝ මේ result එක දාවේ බලන්න ඒකක් ආවේ නෑනේ කියලා. Then you know the reason as well. You know the reason for not having better results as well. The reason can be you have not studied well, you have not focused well. But in the next semester as well, what you will do? You will act the same. You will behave the same. You will not focus. you will do some, other things, other stuff rather than, doing studies. And again, what will happen in the future? In the next semester as well, you will have the same results. I mean, you will get some, low results. ඒ කියන්නේ මොකද්ද? ඔයා ගිය semester එකෙන් ඉගෙනගෙන නැහැ. ඔයා ගිය semester ඉගෙන ගත්තා නම් මේ semester එකේ බැහැලම වැඩ කරනවා. That is simply about learning. Through the past experiences, the things, the knowledge that you have grabbed, මේ දේවල් මොකද්ද කරන්නේ? You are changing your future behavior. Right? You are adapting to the future behavior. This is the thing which I should do because I have a previous experience. So this went wrong. So I should do this in this way. Right? I should have some small refinement. And එහෙම change කරගන්නවා නම් you are learning. එහෙම change කරගන්න නැත්නම් you are not learning. So when it comes to this consumer behavior learning means, yes, we have, as consumers, we have, we have used different brands. We have used different products. And with each and every, product consumption, we have experience. And we have knowledge. We have knowledge and experience. Samsung S 10 එක use කළා. This is a personal experience of mine, right? I have used Samsung S10, I mean 2 years back, right? 2 years, yes, 2 years back, right? But I have a negative experience with Samsung. The thing is, after, several months, so there was a green line in the display. I have a negative experience. Then after that, what happened? I have never bought Samsung. Because of what? Because of that learning. And I mean, learnings, consumption වලට අදාළ learnings හරි වැදගත් marketers ලට. මොකද මිනිස්සු consumers ලා ඉගෙන ගත්ත දේ බොහෝ වෙලාවට adapt කරනවා future behavior එකට. මේ restaurant එකේ කෑම කාලා බඩ රිදුනා නම් you will not go to that restaurant again. That is learning. Right? Then the next part, beliefs and attitudes. Beliefs and attitudes means, so what are the things that you believe, but what are the things that you believe as true and correct? Or what are the things that you believe as true or false? And plus, how you look at the society. කොහොමද සමාජය දකින්නේ? beliefs එකක් කියන්නේ සමහර කට්ටිය කියනවා ලෝකේ පැතලි. සමහර කට්ටිය ලෝකේ ගෝකා. So these are beliefs. I mean, like, if something is not scientifically proven, then we can consider that as a belief. Scientifically proven නම් ඒක scientifically ඒක true නේ. ඒකයි believe කරන්න දෙයක් නෑ. That is the truth. එහෙම නැති දේවල් තියෙනවනේ සමහර කට්ටිය කියනවා. සමහර කට්ටිය විශ්වාස කරනවා there are God. Yes, that is their belief. සමහර කට්ටිය there's nothing called God. That is up to them. That is their belief system. Right? ඒතර සමහර කට්ටිය කියනවා මොනවාද මිනිස් දෙන්නේ මෙන්න මෙහෙම මිනිස්සුන්ගේ origin එක මෙන්න මෙහෙම. සමහර කට්ටිය කියනවා මෙන්න මෙහෙමයි. So there are set of beliefs. සමහර කට්ටිය ගස් වල වලට වඳිනවා. සමහර කට්ටිය ඉරට වැඳපු කාලයක් තිබුණා. That is their belief system. So depending on their belief system, right, their whole, the way that they behave also, it can be varied. So therefore, consequently, what will happen is, and ultimately that will, influence on the decision making process. Right? So what you believe, again, believe කරනවා නම් short dresses, I mean, wearing short dress is not good. I mean, short dress අඳින්න මෙහෙම නිකන් charter කට්ටිය. That is your belief. Right? If that is your belief, if you are a, female, if you are a lady, right, then you will not buy, short dresses. If you are a male, right, or short dress අඳින්න හොඳ නැහැ කියලා හිතනවා නම් girls ලා, then you will not let your, partner to wear such. Right? So that is your belief, right? So just see how this belief going to influence on you plus other parties, right? Then attitudes. Attitude means, so how you are looking at the things. අර සරල උදාහරණේ. Imagine that there's a glass of water, right? Imagine that there's a glass of water filled. Halfly it is filled with water. භාගයක් වතුර පුරවලා තියෙනවා. One can say it is, ඒ කියන්නේ භාගයක්ව පිරලා තියෙන්නේ. ඒ කියන්නේ මේක භාගයක් පිරලා තියෙන්නේ. තව කෙනෙක්ට පුළුවන් මේක කියන්න මේකේ භාගයක් හිස්නේ. ඒ කෙනෙක් කියනවා this is half filled. තව කෙනෙක් කියනවා this is half empty. Right? And the way we look at the things, that happened because of your attitude. අර හිත් කියලා දකින්න සාමාන්‍ය negative attitude එකක් කෙනෙක්. අරයා positive attitude එකක් කෙනෙක්. මේකේ භාගයක් හරි තියනවනේ කියලා ඒක positive ගන්න කට්ටිය ඉන්නවා. මේකේ භාගයක් නැහැ නේ කියලා negative ගන්න කට්ටිය. That is about attitude. So depending on this, I mean, the way you look at the things, your decisions can be changed, right? I mean, your product evaluation, the way you look at advertisements, the way you look at products, right? Packagings, even, right? So, I mean, so with your attitude, these, evaluations can be changed, right? That is about beliefs and attitudes, right? So we have discussed the four fact. I mean, like we have discussed. Sorry, there's another one remaining, right? Perception. So I have explained this part at the midst of the session, right? About the perception. Perception is about simply how you see the world. ඔයා කොහොමද ලෝකය දකින්නේ කියන එක තමයි perception කියන එකේ. ඒතකොට සමහරට ඔයාලට පැටලෙන්න පුළුවන්. So what is attitude then? What is perception? So perception is a temporary thing, right? Attitude is I mean, like it is a enduring thing. Attitude එකක් කියන එක කාලයත් එක්ක තමන්ගේ එන දෙයක්. Perception එක කියන්නේ තමන් එවෙලට දකින objects දකින දේවල් තියෙනවානේ. ඒව ගැන කරන තමන් evaluation එක. Perception එකක් කියන්නේ. Right? But perception will be influenced by the attitude. ඒකත් හොඳට මතක තියාගන්න. Perception එක influence වෙන්නේ කියන්නේ perception එක තමන් දකින ආකාරය. Well, how you see the things කියන එක it can be varied and it can be influenced with your attitude. ඔයාගේ ආකල්පය positive ද negative ද මෙන්න මේ කියන ආකල්ප මත ඔයා දකින ආකාරය වෙනස් වෙනවා. Right? But it's like perception is the outcome of your attitude. එහෙම තේරුම් ගත්තාම ලේසි. Right? Perception is the outcome of the attitude. Right? ඒ කියන්නේ තමන් දකින්නේ ඒ කියන්නේ තමන්ගේ positive ද negative ද තියෙන්නේ ඒ තියෙන ඒ goals එකෙන් තමයි you are going to evaluate the incidents which are happening around you. අන්න ඒකට අපි කියන perception. What is your perception? As an example, හිතන්න imagine this is an example, right? There's a nice couple. හිතන්න ඔයාලා university you are coming to the university through the main gate and at the right side ඔයාලා ගැන තියෙන පොඩි උද්‍යානයක් වගේ කැලලා. ඒකෙන් at the right side you are seeing a couple, right? A couple. So they are having some, they are having some romance in the, on that bench, right? So හිතන්න ඔන්න යාළුවෝ දෙන්නෙක් ඉන්නවා. මේ යාළුවෝ දෙන්න එක්කෙනෙක් කියන A කියන යාළුවා කියනවා ඒ මචං බලහන් මේ just see that these two couples, right? I mean like they do not know how to behave in the university. So I mean like it is better if they can go to a room. I mean they can, I mean that a person can say, right? ඊට හොඳයි room එකකට ගියා. B person කියන්න පුළුවන්, right? හිතන්න that girlfriend is again කවනවා සමහරට she is feeding, right? එතකොට B පුද්ගලයාට කියන්න පුළුවන් no නෑ නෑ මචං they are a very nice couple, right? But just see how happy they are, right? Because nowadays we cannot see couples, I mean in this way, I mean in this particular mood, right? And B කෙනෙක් කියන same situation දකින්නේ වෙන විදියකට. These are perceptions and these perceptions were molded by the attitude, right? Perceptions දෙක වෙනස් වුණේ යාළගේ attitude එක. කියන්නේ primarily මේ attitude කියන එක influence කරනවා. මොකද තමන් දකින ඒ කියන්නේ තමන් අවුරුදු ගාණක් experience එක knowledge එකක් mindset එකක් තියෙනවනේ. ඒක influence වෙනවා මේ perception එකට. So other than that there are some other factors as well. I mean primarily මෙන්න මේ attitude කියන එක effect වෙනවා. There are some other factors as well which will ඒ කියන්නේ තමන් එවෙල ඉන්න mindset එක. So these factors also can influence on this perception, but primarily this attitude will influence on your perception as well. I mean, formation of the perception as well, right? Right. Next part it is about decision making process. So, and for this as well, I have developed a video. Since this is something where you have learned, and this is a very easy thing actually, decision making process. So therefore, I have developed a video for that. So after watching the video, if you do have concerns, right? So since there's a time limitation as well, if you do have concerns, so please raise after watching the video, right? So the video has some examples as well. I have inculcated some examples as well to this AI generated video. So after looking at that video, if you have concerns, even if you cannot unmute your mic, please drop to the chat box as well, right? Okay.
You need to watch this if you struggle with understanding why you buy stuff. First up, need recognition. This is when you realize you need something like, I need new shoes or I'm out of snacks. Next, information search. This is when you start looking for options. You might Google it, ask friends or read reviews. Then comes evaluation of alternatives. You compare different products. Maybe one pair of shoes is stylish but another is cheaper. After that, it's the purchasing decision. You've weighed your options and now you decide which one to buy. Credit card ready? Finally, post-purchase behavior. This is how you feel after your purchase. Happy with those new shoes? Awesome. Not so happy? Maybe return them. And that's it. Now you know how buyers make decisions. Happy shopping. You need to...
Right. So it was a short video, right? So which was developed by covering the steps of decision making process. So do you have questions regarding the decision making process? Because I'm not going to repeat the same, because we have discussed about the decision making process when we were talking about the stimulus response as well, right? So that is why I'm not going through that again. First, you need to identify the problem. Then what you will do is, after identifying the problem, then you need to do an information search. I mean, this is my problem. So what are the brands which are available? I mean, what are the products which are available in the market? Then after having an understanding about the products in the market, then you are evaluating. You have the options with you, right? Then through these options, you need to select one option or two options. Oh, that's up to you, right? That's up. I mean, that depends. I mean, on your potential plus on your expectations plus uh, your need, right? So after, I mean, now we are having options. Then you need to evaluate to select the best option, right? Or options. So after having the evaluation, so then I mean, like after having the evaluation, you can select the best one or best options or options. Then you are purchasing. After selecting the best option, you are doing the purchasing part. Then you are having the evaluation. Post purchase means, so after consuming the product or after the consumption, so what is your overall evaluation? So if satisfaction can, if you are unsatisfied, what will happen? If you are satisfied, it is okay. If you are delighted, it is good to the brand, right? So this is the whole process, and this whole process will be influenced by the factors that we have discussed, right? Main categories හතරක් වෙනදී factors කතා කරා. ඒ factors ටික බලපානවා මේ problem recognition එක information search එක මේ හැම කාරණයකටම බලපානවා. If you are an innovative person, as an example, if you are an innovative person, when it comes to the information search part, you will seek some, rather than going for your friends' opinions, right? Or opinions of your friends, right? You will seek to have some more credible sources. I mean, you can go for Google reviews, you can go for, GSM Arena, like if it is a technical product, right? So you will search for, some credible sources to have a better understanding, right? And you will watch some videos as well, product reviews as well, right? So you can do that. So that is, I mean, that will not be the same behavior of each and every individual, right? Smartphone එකක් ගන්න ඉන්නවා නම් ඔයා badge එකේ 10 දිනට smartphone ඕන නම් 10 දිනම එකම ආකාරයට නෙවෙයි මේ information search කියන component එක කරන්නේ. There are differences. And when it comes to evaluations as well, evaluate කරන්න එකම විදියට නෙවෙයි. Right? ඒ හින්දා අපි අර කතා කරපු factors ගැන පොඩ්ඩක් අය පාරක් පොඩ්ඩක් බලන්න. Then you will get a better understanding about what we have discussed today. Right. This is the last part of the consumer behavior session today, right? Extensive levels of problem solving. So finally, I mean, so since we have discussed about the decision making process as well, and when it comes to decision making process, I have stressed that. So the starting point of decision making process is problem. You are identifying a problem. So මේ levels ටික තියෙන්නේ පළවෙනි stage එකට, right? මේ levels ටික identify කරගෙන තියෙන්නේ පළවෙනි stage එකට. So when you're identifying the problem, right, there are several levels. I mean, when we are identifying the problem and when we are giving solution making process එක වෙන්නේ We are trying to give a solution. No? The problem make a solution. So we can see there are three levels. I mean, depending on the customer, depending on the nature of the product, and depending on the involvement. The main word is involvement of the consumer. We can identify there are three main levels of problem solving. Right? Level of involvement. One is extensive problem solving. Extensive problem solving means you are involving a lot for that particular decision making. So involvement කියලා කියන්නේ you are putting much effort. You are putting much effort to make that decision. එතකොට නිකන් හිතන්න, so just think, right? For what kind of situations you are putting much effort. ඔයාලම හිතන්න. ඔයාලා decision එකක් ගන්න යනකොට, so what are the instances where we put much effort? එතකොට ගොඩක් වෙලාවට අපි effort එක වැඩි කරන්නේ මොන වගේ අවස්ථාවලදීද? If the product is unfamiliar. One reason can be if the product is unfamiliar. Or if you have not purchased that product before. කලින් ඒ product එක buy කරලා නැත්නම්. Or if you do not have much knowledge about that product. If you do not have the knowledge about that particular, the product that you are going to purchase, right? Then you need to find information. Then you need to put much effort, right? Or else, if that particular, decision is very important to you, ඒක ඔයාගේ ජීවිතේට වැදගත් තීරණයක්. මෙන්න මේ කියන අවස්ථාවලදී you are having extensive problem solving. As an example, if you are preparing for your wedding, then it will come under extensive problem solving. When you are determining your dress, when you are determining the location, when you are taking each and every, when you are determining jewelry even, right? So those things are coming under extensive problem solving, because you have no previous experience and you have not much understanding. Plus, it is very important for you. When selecting the photographer, you are looking for so much of things. Looking for the photograph, right? So this is coming under extensive problem solving. Right, next part. Limited problem solving. Limited problem solving means, so yes, your involvement is there, right? Your involvement is there, but you are not putting much effort. ඒ කියන්නේ much effort කියලා කියන්නේ අර තරම් ගොඩක් වැදගත් නැහැ. ඒ කියන්නේ sorry, වැදගත් නැහැ කියන එක just remove that, right? ඒක වැරදි. Involvement එක අඩු. ඒ involvement එක අඩු වෙන හේතුව තමයි, effort එක අඩු වෙන හේතුව තමයි. Previously I mentioned that you are having, so when I was discussing several criteria, right? I mentioned that because of not having much understanding about the product and not having previous experience, you are involving a lot for that decision making. But based on the limited problem solving, the thing is, you are having some set of criteria. ඒ කියන්නේ මොකද්ද? සමහරවිට previous experience නොති වෙන්න පුළුවන්. It's okay. But you know about these products. As an example, you are going to, you have not experienced a smartphone before. You had a featured phone, but because of your friends and since you are you have a laptop and you are a social media person, so because of that you are having an understanding about the brands which are available in the market when it comes to smartphone category, and what are the quality facets of each and every brand. I mean, what I want to emphasize in here is you are having some basic understanding about the brands which are available in the market for your problem. ඔයාගේ problem එකට අවශ්‍ය brands වල basic understanding එකක් ඔයා ගාව තියෙනවා. So therefore, right, you do not need to put much effort. Why? Because you know about the brands which are available in the market. Plus, you have some, Apple, it is about the quality. Samsung, they are very good with, displays. So that kind of understanding you have. එතකොට ඔයාට පොඩි තව effort එකක් දාන්න තියෙන information හොයාගන්න best option එක select කරගන්න. This is about limited problem solving, right? And also there's another thing which I want to emphasize in here. So this can be varied from person to person. I mean, smartphone එක මම ගන්නකොට මම දාන involvement එකයි. හිතන්න මමත් first time ගන්න, ඔයත් first time. මන් දාන involvement එකයි ඔයා දාන involvement එකයි it can be vary. Right? මොකද අපි කතා කරන තව factors බලපානවා කියලා. It can be vary, right? ඒකත් මතක තියාගන්න. So these are subjective one. Where levels decide when it is a very subjective one. This can be different from person to person, right? Okay, සරල example එක. So if you are a person who has married before, right? You are a person who has married before. I mean like හිතන්නකෝ දෙපාරක් විතර divorce වෙච්ච කෙනෙක් කියලා. ඒ වගේ කෙනෙක්ට third marriage එක කියලා it is not something new, right? So it can be it can be something which can be coming under limited problem solving or habitual by behavior. Limited problem solving end පුළුවන් because that person is having experience. Before and they know that product is good, this product is bad. So they put much on problem. Right. Sorry guys, sorry for the interruption. So when it comes to the routine problem solving, right? So what I was telling about is so like when it comes to routine problem solving, so these people, I mean consumers, they do have the previous experience about the product. I mean they had that particular problem before as well, so they have given solutions. I mean they have the experience of giving solutions, so therefore they know this product is good and this product is bad. So so therefore they do not need to put much effort on taking the decision. So therefore that is this is coming under routine problem solving. So in here in this matrix, so you can see, so complex buying behavior is the first one that we have discussed on the levels of problem solving. Then dissonance reducing buying behavior means, so this is I mean මෙතන එක කොටසක් තියෙනවා ඔයාලා කතා කරපු නැති. sorry මේ මම explain නොකරපු complex කියන පළවෙනිම කතා කරපු එක. ඊට පස්සේ sorry variety seeking කියලා කියන්නේ so this is so variety seeking and dissonance buying behavior මෙන්න මේ these two components we can consider under this one. Limited problem solving with even though it can කොහොමද කියන්නේ that depends on the situations, right? මෙහෙම කියන්නම්කෝ මම right. When it come to like limited problem solving වලදී අපි කියන්නේ එක high involvement කියලා කියන්නේත් නැහැ, low involvement කියලා කියන්නේත් නැහැ. ඒක කියන්නේ it is at the middle, right? මේ matrix එකේ middle. So therefore limited problem solving can be මේ අවස්ථාවේ limited problem solving එකක් වෙන්නත් පුළුවන්. මේ අවස්ථාවේ limited problem solving එකක් වෙන්නත් පුළුවන්. Right? So since it is at the middle, right? High involvement එකකුත් නැහැ, low involvement එකකුත් නැහැ, middle. මෙතන low involvement කියලා තිබ්බට right? දැන් මෙතන example එකක් කියන්නම්. So when it comes to this variety seeking buying behavior, right? So there are significant differences between brands, right? කෙනෙක්ට තරක කරන්න පුළුවන්, right? So since there are significant differences between the brands, I should not put much effort, right? Because Apple is the quality brand and Samsung is not quality and other brands are not quality. So therefore I can take the quick decision. That depends. ඒ කියන්නේ දැන් මට කියන්න ඕනේ මෙන්න මේ ඒ කියන්නේ ඔයාලා දැන් මේ අපි කතා කරන්නේ කොටස් තුනක්. මේ කොටස් තුන තියෙන්නේ මෙන්න මේ මේ limited problem solving කියන එක තියෙන්නේ මෙන්න මේ at the middle, right? That is the thing which I want to emphasize in here. It is not මේ extreme එකට යන්නෙත් නැහැ, මේ extreme එකට යන්නෙත් නැහැ, මේ extreme එකට යන්නෙත් නැහැ, මේ extreme එකට යන්නෙත් නැහැ. That is the case, right? So in this matrix actually I cannot point the limited problem solving. So මට හිතන හොඳම දේ තමයි මම එක එක පාට explain කරන්න, that will be easy for you, right? So the first one is, so we have first one එකට දෙන්න පුළුවන් කෙලින්ම. So this is the part which we have extensive problem solving කියන්නේම මෙතන තියෙන මේ complex buying behavior කියන එක. But and habitual buying behavior කියන්නේ කෙලින්ම මේ routine problem solving කියන එක. So therefore I'm not going to discuss these two parts, right? But I will explain these two parts, right? In the makeup, sir, right? So just see low involvement and significant differences between brands, right? Variety seeking buying behavior. In here, what happens is, right? Maybe sell එකෙන් කියවෙන්නේ, yes, that individual is putting less effort. The reason is effort එකක් දාන්නේ because that person can identify some significant difference among the brands. මේ brand එක හොඳයි, මේ brand එක නරකයි. කෙලින්ම අඳුර ගන්න පුළුවන්. I mean, from the evaluation criteria that person is having, right? Directly identify කර ගන්න පුළුවන් මේක තමයි මට හරියන්නේ කියලා. ඒ හින්දා මේක variety seeking buying behavior කියලා එනවා. right? Variety එක කියන්නේ තමන්ට වෙනම වෙනස්කම් බලා ගන්න පුළුවන් brands වල. Dissonance reducing buying behavior කියලා කියන්නේ you cannot see much differences between the brands. Therefore you need to put much effort. අර වෙනස්කම් ගොඩක් බලා ගන්න හම්බෙන්නේ නැති හින්දා you need to put much effort. right? So අන්න dissonance ඒ කියන්නේ මෙතනදී effort එක ගොඩක් දාන්න හේතුව තමයි the reason is to reduce the dissonance. Because at the end of the day you are afraid that you will be dissatisfied. So therefore you are putting much effort since you cannot see much differences among the brands. As an example, a lot of cosmetic products, almost all the brands are claiming the same. මේකෙනු සුදු වෙනවා ඔක්කොගෙම claim කරන්න එකම. So when you are taking a decision, you are putting much effort, you are searching a lot of information. Why? Because they are saying the same. You cannot see much differences. Right? So those are the so that is the definition of these two concepts. එතකොට මතක තියාගන්න limited problem solving in a method. It is at the middle, right? High involvement එකකුත් නැහැ, low involvement එකකුත් නැහැ. So it is at the middle, right? So that is the thing which I want to emphasize in here. The last part is buying roles. Give me 5 minutes, right? I will wrap up the session. So the last part is about buying roles. So in here, buying roles means when it comes to decision making, right? So there are several parties which involves in decision making, right? Again, decision making ka gannaකොට හිතන්නකෝ you need to have a TV to your home. The reason is the previous one has broken, right? You are the person, who is having that particular need. More than the others, you are the person who is having that need. My parents, they want to have the TV as well, but you are the person who is having the most interest on having a new TV, right? Then on that instance, you can be the initiator. You are the person who is recognized the problem. Our previous TV has broken. Now we need to have a TV, and now in these days we are having the T20 World Cup as well. So it is better to have a TV. You are identifying the problem, and you are trying to initiate something. So that is initiator. The role is initiator. Gatekeepers means there is a person who controls the information. Whether control information කියලා කියන්නේ dissemination part එක control කරනවා. ඒ කියන්නේ to whom which I should tell this, and to whom, so initiator is there. සමහරට initiator ගිල්ල කෙලින්ම කියනවා අක්කට හරි අයියගෙන කියනවා අයියට හරි සමහරට අම්මට වෙන්න පුළුවන්. You are telling to one person, identified person. සමහරට identified person මොකද කරන්නේ, right? මොකද කරන්නේ මේ විස්තරය අහන් ඉඳලා තාත්තට ඕන කොටස තාත්තට කියනවා, අම්මට ඕන කොටස අම්මට කියනවා. ඒ කියන්නේ ඕන මේ වැඩේ වෙන්න ඕන information ටික that person is disseminating. Gatekeepers. Sometimes in your home, at your home, සමහරට අක්කා ඔය වැඩේ කරන්න පුළුවන්. සමහර නංගි ඔය වැඩේ කරන්න පුළුවන්. සමහර ladies, they are good at this gatekeeping, right? Then the influencing. Influencing means in here, there's another role called influencer who is going to influence on the decision. මේ decision එක අන්තිම final decision එක ගන්න එක්කෙනාට influence කරන පුද්ගලයා. කියන්නේ මේකේ කවුරු හරි මේ decision making process එකේ තීරකයෙක් ඉන්නවා. දැන් when it comes to family, සාමාන්‍ය father තමා කියන්නේ හරි මේක ගන්නවා නම් ගමු කියලා සාමාන්‍ය father තමයි තීරණය කරන්නේ. Then if the father is the decision maker, influencer කියලා කියන්නේ කවුද මේ decision maker ට මේක influence කරන්න යන්නේ. That is the influencer. So if you are the initiator, then what you can do is, if you are a boy, what you can do is you can go at your mother and you can tell the story. We need to have a team. So ඔන්න අම්මා තාත්තට කිව්වම influencing power එක වැඩිනේ. So ඔන්න අම්මා influencer වෙනවා. Because why? The final, mother is going to, mother is the person who can influence on the final decision maker. Right? So that is why we are naming mother as the influencer in this particular scenario. Then the next part is decider. මේ decider කියන්නේ ඒ පුද්ගලයා decider ට මේ influence කරන එක කියලා. Say yes or no to that purchase. තාත්තා කිව්වොත් no කියලා ඉවරයි. ගන්න වෙන්නේ නැහැ. හැබැයි අම්මා අහනකොට සාමාන්‍යයෙන් yes කියනවා. හැබැයි ඔක පුතා ගිහිල්ලා ඇහුවනම් most probably father will say no. Right? So that is the normal scenario. Right? Then after deciding, right? හිතන්න ඔන්න father father said that yes, we'll go for that TV. We'll go for a new TV. Then purchaser. Father කරන්නේ මොකද්ද? He is giving the money. He's having the financial authority. Then he is giving the money. Then purchaser means, so after taking the decision, who is going to buy the product? Product එක ගන්න එක තමයි purchaser වෙන්නේ. ඒතකොට සමහරට initiator purchaser වෙන්න පුළුවන්. අම්මත් එක්ක ගිහලා TV එක ගිහලා කොහෙන් හරි showroom එකකින් ගන්න පුළුවන්. Purchaser. Then after purchasing the product, user means, so after purchasing the product, who is going to use, who is going to consume the product? So again, that can be the initiator plus, father, mother, all the people can be users of this product. So these are the roles that we can identify when it's come to a decision making process, right? So this is all about the today's lesson, consumer behavior. So sorry for taking much time, right? I have taken 15 minutes more, right? Because I wanted to clarify more on the things, right? Because when I'm teaching to the marketing people, right, I'm not diving into I'm not discussing this much. The reason is they do have a kind of understanding about this discipline. But since in here, I can see there are some students from other disciplines as well. So that is the reason why I'm stressing, I have stressed much on some concepts, right? Anyway, right. So do you have questions or concerns? Or are you clear? Students? Are you clear with the session? Okay, yes, yes, okay, thank you. Two people, they have mentioned that they are clear with the session, and yes, okay, thank you. And if you are clear with the session, then we can wind up this webinar. And thank you so much for inviting me to this webinar. And I hope you have got something out from this session, and hope this was a fruitful session for you, right? Thank you.